Yo, welcome back to another episode of PVT Player versus Team. It's your host, Moo. I am back with my main guy, DJ Micah B. What's up, big dog?
Man, I'm ready to dive into all this. I'm ready to dive into it. We're gonna talk about some Ryan. We definitely gonna talk about Haney.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we gonna have to talk about a little bit of Tank too and see who's up next. But let's get it going.
Most definitely. I hope that everybody's having a good Thursday, enjoying the NFL draft. I'm gonna go ahead and take your eyes or your ears off the NFL draft for just a second. Go ahead and throw us on in the background and talk about a little bit of boxing. But before that, I just want to say fuck you to that Atlanta Falcons for taking Michael Penix Jr. and ruining the draft for the Raiders.
Man, don't do that. Don't
I
do that.
appreciate you guys.
Don't. Atlanta was right on point. I'm happy because I have Kyle Pitts in fantasy, especially in the Dynasty League. I am so excited for this one because the last two QBs ain't get the ball to Kyle Pitts. It annoyed me. So let's get it going.
I can understand that. I can understand that. Also, shout out to Caleb Williams for going number one overall USC boy. Appreciate you, dog. Go Trojans. But without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about this fight that happened on April 20th in Brooklyn. As y'all see from the thumbnail, the Brooklyn beatdown. DJ, what are our initial thoughts about the fight?
My initial thoughts were okay. So initially, I thought it was going to be a closer fight than what it was. I did think Ryan Garcia was going to win the fight because I think Ryan Garcia is a better boxer. But let's be serious here. I did not see 6 knockdowns coming in this fight.
Mm.
I give Devin Haney credit because it's not how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get knocked up. How many times you get up. Except in boxing, my brother.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on, but you was in the wrong sport to get up over and over again. Sometimes you just got to sit back and just admit defeat. But he got up every single time and got his head knocked in again every single time.
Yeah.
That was Ryan's Garcia's way of saying, take Tank name out your mouth. You're not going to jump over me and act like I'm not this guy. Because Ryan Garcia is definitely that guy. And I give props to Ryan Garcia because everybody thought he had mental problems going on. Everybody thought he was weak. Everybody thought he was vulnerable. He trolled the shit out of social media, got Devin Haney off his game, if Devin Haney got off his game, because I don't think he did. I just think he just lost to a better fighter. But Devin really walked in there thinking he was just going to go in and beat the crap out of Ryan Garcia. And what do we see? Ryan Garcia, hook, 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 jab, 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 uppercut. Hook, 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 jab, 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 uppercut. Hook, hook, hook. Over and over. I think he dropped him 4 out of 6 times with a hook shot.
Literally.
From the left. And Devin Haney could not adjust to do anything with this man. It was embarrassing. And Haney needs to go back to the drawing board because your next fight is not Tank.
It's not at all.
It is not Tank. As much shit as you've been talking, it ain't Tank. Overall, though, the overall fight card was amazing to watch. It was
Definitely.
a very good fight card. But yeah, the main event didn't live up to the hype. Sorry to say, I don't care if Devin Haney lasted all 12 rounds. I don't care he lasted all 12 rounds. I don't care. It was an annihilation. It was a beatdown. You should be ashamed of yourself. If I was the family member of yours, I would say you shut your mouth and go train.
Shot at Bill Haney. My thoughts on the fight. I initially thought that Ryan was going to go in and win by decision initially. What I didn't see coming was as many knockdowns as transpired that night. I've always kind of said this about Devin Haney. He kind of starts off, kind of likes the days to go really slow, but as the fight goes on, he starts to pick it up. And I've always kind of said if he kind of puts it all together for all 12 rounds, he would be that much better as a boxer and looked and revered that much better as a boxer. And his knockout rate and win rate would be a lot better than what it is now. Wouldn't be so much controversial around it, or controversy around it, especially with his last fight with Loma. I just think that sometimes he kind of steps off the gas to kind of read too much, instead of putting the pressure on where he needs to really put the pressure on and kind of finish the fight because he's that much better than a lot of people. But in regards to this fight, um, his flaws really showed, especially defensively. You can tell because he kept dropping his guard hand. His head movement, shoulder movement was absolutely piss poor. Footwork was horrible. So I don't know what was going on in his camp with this past camp, but it just didn't look like the Devin Haney that I seen against. Because I can't even say Loma. I would say. I'm spacing on his name right now. Let me look it up because that's really the last fight where I would say that he really looked really good as far as. Let me see. Hold on. I got it right here. George Kambosos. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
When he fought George Kambosos, that's when I thought that he really started to put together like a really, really solid overall fight from start to finish. Um, because he knew just how much of a dog George Kambosos is. So when you fight these different kind of animals, you have to come up to their level. And I just didn't think that he didn't reach that level with Loma, and I think it showed a lot. And I think he showed some really, really bad defensive tendencies that Ryan and his camp picked up on, and they definitely capitalized. So I think that he definitely needs to, like you said, get back to the drawing board and see what he needs to do next, or his next fight, because it's not like you're just gonna jump up and we're gonna get the. He might get a rematch. I know him and Ryan have been talking on social media saying, oh yeah, well let's go ahead and run it back and get a rematch going or whatever.
Nah.
Mainly,
Nah.
main reason being, I think the main reason behind that is because everybody wants to see Ryan with no hydration clause, no rehydration clause, no. They want to see him actually make the weight, with a weight that they both kind of agree at, so that if Ryan does win again this time, he's able to take the belts away from Haney. So there's not going to be any kind of contractual issues about that. But I wanted to ask you a question though.
Let's go.
Do you think that with this win, that Ryan and Shakur Stevenson are going to hop in the ring at some point in time?
I think they should, but on the flip side of that, here's what I also say. I don't think I think Devin Haney personally has more losses than he has on his actual record right now.
I can understand that.
Because I definitely do believe Lomachenko won that fight against Devin Haney.
Same.
And it was much of the same thing against Ryan Garcia. Lomachenko took him dropping his hand over and over again and exposed him. And I never will understand how Devin Haney won the fight. More importantly, to this fight especially, I'm not understanding how any judge scored that shit even.
Same.
One judge did score it even, and it was how somebody get knocked down 6 times in a fight and you score that shit even. That judge should be investigated for being paid. But
immediately,
I do think Ryan Garcia should fight Shakur Stevenson next.
And the reason why I asked you that is because these are all the biggest names,
right,
in the in boxing world right now, as far as lightweights or as far as light featherweights, right, or light welterweights. Excuse me. So with Shakur coming out earlier saying that he's walking away from boxing, he was tired from boxing because of all the stuff that's going on in boxing and how people don't really want to fight each other, but then coming back and taking a fight against a lesser known opponent. Do we start to see these guys start to take the action and start to be like, you know what? Fuck all of this shit. Fuck all the extras. Fuck all the glitz and the glam. As long as the money work out, as long as the money line up, let's fight.
They should. And the reason why they should is because most of these guys that are saying that, their weights aren't that far off to affect how strong you are. We know Tank is a lightweight with heavyweight power. You know what I'm saying? Every lightweight is not like that. I would love to see Ryan Garcia versus Shakur Stevenson because of Ryan Garcia beat Shakur Stevenson, he definitely deserves a rematch against Tank for sure, because they'll be 1 and 2, just like how back in the day Pacquiao and Mayweather was, and we would get to see it while they're in their prime. So I would really, really love Ryan Garcia to fight Shakur Stevenson, and the winner goes on to fight Tank. Um, but for the most part, Devin Haney has fell down the list. He has to work his way back up. I think we need to do with boxing what UFC has done.
Mm.
UFC has done is just like, okay, look, it doesn't matter if you want to take the fight or not. That's the number one contender, and that's who you're fighting next.
That's what you're
This
fighting. Yeah.
is and I this is why I respect a lot of 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s fighters going into the Muhammad Ali era and the Mike Tyson era. Because whoever boxing deemed was number one, that's who they had to fight next in their weight
That's true.
class. Um, so I do feel like even though Shakur Stevenson I think he'd come out of retirement to fight one of the best. I think Shakur Stevenson and Ryan Garcia would be a good fight. I still think Ryan Garcia would win the fight though. I do.
Mm.
And I would, if I had to bet my money, I would bet on Ryan Garcia. I definitely would. But that's not saying Shakir can't win the fight. And if Shakir wanted to come out of retirement to make a statement, this would be the fight to come out of retirement and make a statement if you win.
That's true.
And you go and be like, look, Tank, you beat the guy. I beat the guy you knocked out. Devin Haney, he got rocked against that guy, and that's the next guy you were looking at facing.
Mm-hmm.
And I done beat Ryan Garcia. You ain't got no choice but to face me now. And it would be amazing. It would be brilliant. It would sell out a lot. So I think Shakur Stevenson, if he wanted to come back to boxing, right now would be the time to do it because light heavyweights are in right now. So, yes.
Now, the thing I find interesting about that, right, is with Shakur coming back and fighting a lesser known opponent to kind of, get his feet back wet before he would probably go into a deeper camp or focus on a much bigger fight, right? I think that before Ryan should probably, before he would focus, because I know a lot of people are calling for the rematch with Tank because of the fabled or the high spoke about rehydration clause, right? And I think what a lot of people are missing is that with that, even though that there was a rehydration clause, Ryan still missed the weight, so he was still over the weight in which he fought Tank. So if he does come in earlier, if there is no quote unquote rehydration clause, it really doesn't matter because one, Ryan doesn't have the chin. Two, he doesn't have the stamina to finish because he doesn't take hits. And if you notice, the reason why Devin Haney was body shotting the hell out of Ryan freaking over and over and over and over and over again is because he looked at it and seen that is what Tank was trying to capitalize on was the body shot. But because he was able to maintain more water or be able to maintain more thickness, a lot those body shots didn't take it to effect. Or Devin Haney was just throwing powders. I don't know, but we'll just leave it, chalk it up to what it is, to what it is. But and I think in order for, like DJ said, I think in order for this rematch to really take place, first of all, I think that we got to get Devin Haney out the picture, right? Because now that Ryan and Devin are calling for a rematch, right? Everybody's gonna want to see this fight without a rehydration clause, without all of this speculation, other stuff like that, and they want to see it again because the belt is supposed to be on the line, right? So if we get that fight out the way and say Ryan goes on to win again, and this time it's by knockout, so this time nobody can question it and there's no controversy around it, right? Do we get that fight before we get the Jared Ennis fight? Because a lot of people have been talking about Tank and Jared Ennis, and a lot of people that have been saying that Tank has been kind of ducking Jared Ennis because he keeps giving these fights to lesser, quote unquote, new boxers, lesser known guys, instead of giving Jared Ennis the fight, who's been boxing for a long time, boxing for just as long as Tank. They've sparred plenty of times. That's a much better fight. It's a big fight. So would you want to see a Ryan rematch? Or if Devin Haney goes on to win, which I don't think he would, but if he goes on to win, a Devin Tank fight? Or do you think that Tank should take this Jared Ennis fight and shut him up before he moves on to bigger and better things?
I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a really good question. A very, very good one because I've been back and forth about it. I have. I've been back and forth about this one. Um, yeah, man. I do believe that aren't they both undefeated?
Yes, I believe so.
Tank and Jaron Ennis. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we we don't see what the spars look like. I mean, it could have been 1-1 or 2-1 or whatever it is in the spars, and Jaron Ennis might be tanking the spar already. We don't know. But what we know on wax right now is that Jaron Ennis has 31 wins with 28 KOs. That means out of all your fights, only 3 of them got to decision.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I was last week with I was like, man, it's time for new blood to come in and especially with UFC and be like, man, give one of these guys ranked lower down that you don't expect, give them a chance to knock off damn it, who were we talking about last week in UFC? It just slipped my mind.
Uh,
Oh
Alex
my
Pereira.
god. Yeah. Okay. So I say, hey, let's give one of these guys that's ranked more like 5th, 6th a chance. I think Jaron Ennis is ranked 4th in the division, and Jaron
Mm-hmm.
Ennis definitely deserves. He definitely deserves a shot at Tank, and I would be more interested right now in seeing Jaron Ennis and Tank over Ryan Garcia and Tank, because I feel like when a boxer has your number, they have your number. You need more
Good
than
point.
just 1 year because the styles of Ryan Garcia and Tank, it doesn't match. It doesn't match. And if they were to fight right now, I think Tank would beat him again. And not only beat
Mm-hmm.
him, I think Tank would knock him out again.
Mm.
I really do, because that's just how styles in boxing go. But I think Jaron Ennis, he's more of a straight up fighter. He'll throw a lot of jabs and he'll stay more safe and then only throw a knockout punch when he has to. Ryan Garcia was a very, very much undisciplined once he got hit in the face.
True.
You know, they say everybody has everybody has a plan until they get hit in the face.
Yep. Which is
Everybody does. So
a
I
very good point.
I think if Ryan Garcia goes back and fight Tank right now, he's going to revert back to his old habits. They haven't really had a chance to dissect, break down, and get him out of his old habits where he drops his hand protecting his face and different things that took him apart in that match.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in order for Ryan Garcia to put up a fight against Tank this time, they have to break him down, get him into new habits, and get him to stay at home on a lot of stuff instead of just swinging wild. Which is why I think Jaron Ennis deserves the fight right now over Ryan Garcia, and he definitely deserves the fight over Devin Haney, and we all know why.
This is true. I have no arguments there. I think the biggest thing for me would be that this is the fight that everybody wants to see outside of Ryan, outside of Devin, outside of even Shakur Stevenson. Like everybody wants to see Boots hop in the ring with a prominent name to really put his name out there and go for gold. I definitely think, like you said, I definitely think he deserves it. He's worked his way up. He's like you said, he has knockout power. He has the stamina. He has the chin. He's a Philly boy. So I would love to see somebody out of Philly go up against somebody out of Baltimore like Gervonta Davis. So I think that'll be honestly a really solid fight. And they've been going back and forth a lot, chirping on social media. I know that he's been, going back and forth with Bill Haney, and Bill Haney's trying to build the fight with his son and stuff like that. Which I'm not gonna lie to you, I know he gets a lot of hate and a lot of flack because he writes checks his son can't cash a lot. But as a promoter or as a seller or a fight seller, that nigga know what he's doing. I ain't gonna lie to you, because he's constantly in somebody's DM, somebody's inbox, trying to get a fight for his son or trying to get the biggest fight. And I respect it, right? Like if nobody gonna ride for your son, shit, you is. So you feel me? I definitely
Facts.
think that is something that we want to see, or at least me. I know I definitely want to see it. Because that's just something that a lot of people have been calling for, especially Boots himself, because he's the one who claims that because Gervonta has taken all of these lesser known fights, he calls Ryan a social media boxer. His words, not mine, Ryan. His words, not mine. That's Boots' words. Take that up with Mike.
Okay, so like
Enos.
here's my problem with that though. If you saying he's taking all these lesser fights and he's a social media boxer per se, who in this division is better than Ryan Garcia for Tank to fight? Because everybody was like, he's ducking Ryan Garcia, he's ducking Ryan Garcia, he's ducking Ryan Garcia. He fought Ryan Garcia and dismantled him. Now everybody's like, well, what about Jaron Ennis? Well, Jaron Ennis wasn't ranked higher than Ryan Garcia, so how the fuck is Tank ducking? It makes no sense for people to say shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And see, and that's the thing, right? That's the thing because Tank is he's taking the fights, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
um he's not taking any fights, and I think that's the best part about him, at least for me, is like if you niggas want to fight, bet we can fight. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people, they talk about the weight thing, but I think the difference is if Tank goes up in weight, then his power goes up in weight, which is why I think a lot of people agreed to meet him down at his weight, uh, which ultimately is y'all downfall. So maybe I need to argue a little better. But for me personally, I definitely want to see the Jared Anderson Tank fight before anything. Main reason being is because I think that's going to be the next biggest fight that we're going to get in that division. Um, Outside of Shakur Stevenson fighting somebody, which I think that he definitely needs to come back. And I don't think that he probably needs to go for gold immediately. I think he probably needs to work his way up too. I think if he takes out, which I know they have him ranked higher, but I think if he fights Williams Zepeda and then probably try
Mm-hmm.
to challenge either Lomachenko or Javante, I think that that'll probably really build his resume up and he'll start to really get the notice that he really deserves. But um, with that being said, we do have a heavyweight bout coming up with Tyson
Uh,
Fury and Alexander Usyk. How are we feeling about that?
I mean, okay. Let's just. I don't know how to feel about this. Um, I don't know how to feel about this yet. I do believe that it could be a really, really good fight, or I feel like it could be a lopsided fight. I am excited for the fight. Um, let's break this thing down. Francis Ngannou probably has fought Tyson Fury the best out of anybody, and he wasn't a boxer. He
Mm-hmm.
was an MMA fighter. And I think the reason why he fought Tyson Fury so good was because he was unorthodox. He's not training to box. So it's just kind of like hey, I'm throwing wild, I'm throwing these combos. You can't catch on to nothing because hey, I'm an MMA fighter and you can't figure it out. By the way, Francis Ngannou won that fight. I don't give a fuck what y'all Tyson Fury fans say on how you can knock somebody down twice and still lose a fight, but whatever. Um,
Facts.
I definitely think Francis won that fight, but then he went up against Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua pretty much put him into place. So the boxing world thinks beginner's luck. There was no tape, so Tyson didn't really know what to do. He didn't have to study and this and that. Okay, fine. I'm not gonna lie. I think Alexander is gonna win this fight.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I really do. And if Alexander doesn't win this fight, I'm gonna go cry in the corner because for what it's worth, and people, Gypsy King or whatever, wherever he's from, I keep forgetting where he's from. The land from where he's from is not gonna like me for this, but I don't give a damn. I personally don't think Tyson Fury is just that good. I think the heavyweight division right now is full of a bunch of brawlers and not really boxers.
Mm.
There are a bunch of brawlers that will get in the middle of the ring and brawl with you and throw hard hitting punches, a la Wilder, a la Joshua. This
Mm.
This is what they do. They get and this is how Mike Tyson was for a while until he learned to play some defense too. I mean, nobody was knocking Mike Tyson out, but he was taking a lot of hits until they got his defense right. And Tyson Fury's been boxing, so he is a very very good boxer. He has defense and things like that. But I still think Alexander's going to win the fight because Alexander is not your everyday typical heavyweight that just brawls. Alexander has skill.
Very true.
And anybody that watches boxing knows Alexander has skill. And Tyson Fury does like to brawl in the middle a little bit just to show, like, hey, I don't have a glass jaw. And I think that will event kind of like how Anderson Silva took his first L in UFC for so long after he was a champion for a very long time. He put his
True.
chin in front of everybody. He
Yep.
flex, put his arms down and do all the BS. I think this is the one match where if Tyson Fury doesn't channel his defense and play and fight defensively, he will lose. I do think he will lose. I think Alexander's just a little bit faster, probably about the same strength, but Alexander will definitely land more power hits. And if they go to full time, I think the power hits will be the difference in the fight because Alexander doesn't know how to land those. And nobody ever goes after Tyson's Fury's body, which blows my mind because
Crazy.
he's not strong in his core. He's fat, and I'm fat too, so I already know what time it is. Fat people have no core. Let's just be serious here. I have a core because I work on my core all the time. I just don't have I don't have a good diet. But nonetheless, if it ain't muscle surrounding that liver and surrounding underneath your organs, bruh, it's gonna be a long day for you because Alexander will attack it and he'll definitely pick away your weaknesses. So I think Alexander's gonna win this fight. I think the reign of Tyson Fury is gonna end with this fight.
Honestly, I do too, and I think this is going to be quite embarrassing for Tyson. Um, if I know one thing, Tyson doesn't like to fight methodical boxers. He likes to fight boxers that he can beat up, that he can take advantage of, that people that brawlers, like you said, right? Now, the
Yep.
reason why he definitely doesn't want to, the reason why he hasn't fought Anthony Joshua is because although Anthony Joshua is a brawler type boxer, he is more methodical with it, right? So he can set it up to the point where now he can hit you with an uppercut, he can hit you with the cross, he can hit you with this hook, he can hit you with the crazy straight, and you're probably going to go to sleep because of the power behind it. Um, which is why I think he's ultimately been avoided Anthony Joshua. But with how much shit that him and his dad and his whole family have been talking with, Alexander Usyk and um, how he's been technically avoiding him because this is the thing that I've always respected about Oli is he doesn't run from anybody. If you want to fight, bet let's set it up. I don't give a fuck about the purse. I don't give a fuck about the antics. I don't give a fuck about none of that. We can fight. Like let's line it up and let's get in this ring and fight. And he's shown that. Um, I even to the point where he was going to take a Deontay Wilder fight prior than him fighting
Yep.
freaking Anthony Joshua fight. So it's like he knows, like, if you want to fight, bro, I'll beat your ass before I go beat this nigga ass. And he's known, like, he beat Anthony Joshua twice, 2 times in a row. So like he knows how to really fight. He knows how to really box. So going into this fight, I think that all the antics that Tyson does with that he did with the Francis Ngannou and all the antics that he did with Deontay Wilder, that's not going to matter here. Like Usyk is coming to fight. He's coming to put you to sleep and end your boxing career for good. Like go off into retirement and take your 1 L and leave by the boxing world alone. But I'm coming to show you that I'm really about this boxing shit, bro. Like I done beat the best. You feel me? I done held champs. I'm undefeated. You're not rocking with me at this point in time in your career or even in my career. So I definitely think that this isn't going to go how he thinks it's going to go. I think this fight is going to be probably a really big fight leading into another big fight. Probably with Anthony Joshua again. It's probably going to end up being a trilogy. Um, they're both around the same age. And I know Anthony Joshua definitely wants to get his get back. If I know one thing, he's definitely looking into to going back at Oli because knowing that he lost to Andy Ruiz Jr., he did the same thing, and he did the same thing with Oli after he lost him the first time, ran it back, lost him again. So there's no doubt in my mind that after Oli wins this one, that he's probably going to go after Anthony Joshua, probably going to entertain the Anthony Joshua fight, which I definitely would want to see again. Um,
I think Oli being shorter is definitely going to help him in this fight if he can get around Tyson's Fury reach. If Oli gets inside and starts attacking Tyson Fury's body like I predict he will,
mm-hmm.
he will wear him. He'll wear him out. He might not knock him out. He might not knock him out. But if I know anything, I'm look. I'm gonna tell people what it is. I'm 5'9" with a 6'2" reach, with a 6'2" wingspan. I'm just telling you what it is. Yes, my mom gave birth to freaks of nature because my brother's 6'1" with a 6'6" wingspan, and my other brother is 5'10". Right, and my other brother is 5'10" with a 6'1" wingspan as well. My mom gave birth to freaks of nature. So 78 a 78 reach that Oli has isn't that far from 82 from Anthony Joshua and 85 from Tyson Fury. And if
Mm-hmm.
Oli gets inside and attacks the body like I think his camp will tell him to, it's going to be a long night for Fury if he gets anywhere near. Because I know one thing about Oli. Oli has a mean ass uppercut
Mean,
that will knock somebody out. A mean one. He might not hit this man in the face a lot, but he will be landing them body shots.
definitely, definitely. And I think I might be controversial saying this, but I think in regards to his last fight, I think Jared Anderson needs to make a move. You got to make a splash, big dog. You got to make a splash. A lot of people were calling your last fight boring. A lot of people were calling your last fight snoozeville. They turned it off, stuff like that, right? And even I thought that it just wasn't you, right? Like the fights that we've seen in the past, the shit talking, the antics, the energy, the charisma. I didn't see none of it, right? I saw a guy who was looked like he's battling some demons, right? So, and I understand that he was just in the news because he's going through some stuff with his baby mom. So I hope all that stuff works out, so you can get out of that funk mentally, so we can get back to you, showing us some real boxing. But I think that he needs to make a move. He needs to move up quickly. He's number 8 right now behind Deontay Wilder. So I think that the next with Deontay's next fight being the number 6 in Zhilei Zhang, depending on the winner and or loser of that one, and depending on if Deontay wants to continue fighting or not, I think that he should probably call out the winner to that one, fight him, and probably see if he can move up to see if he can either get a Joshua Parker fight or Anthony Joshua fight, because we know that that's probably going to be connected to the Oli fight. So I wanted just to get your thoughts on that about the heavyweight division as to the route in which it's going to take, and if Jared Anderson should make a big splash and call somebody out.
Well, I think he should, but let's start with baby steps here. He has to be reinstated first.
Very true. It's very true. Like I said, he got some shit to work out right now.
Yeah.
Let's hope. Let's hope he works it out.
I want to see the heavyweight rankings real quick because I don't know who's ranked where. Because in order for him to be able to call out anybody, he had let me see. Let's see what's going on. I want to see where he's ranked because I have no idea where he's ranked. None. Oh, he's not in the top 10. Oh, okay. So
right now, before all the
I lied. He's 7. He was 7 before all the nonsense happened.
Yeah, before all the shit happened.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, he should probably jump. He should probably jump. Well, damn, no, not jump. I think he should probably fight Deontay Wilder. If he beats Deontay, like you said, I think he should fight Deontay Wilder. Even though before he got in trouble, he was ranked over Deontay Wilder. I think he should fight Deontay Wilder, and if he beats Deontay Wilder, he'll jump up pretty quickly to maybe top 5.
It's a big name fight. I think that'll probably definitely help his name, and then that'll be another fight to where it's not a lesser known opponent to where people aren't really going to be interested in the fight with Deontay. I think it's going to be a really known fight. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to have a lot of eyes on it. It's going to draw in a lot of money, and it's going to be really active because we know how Deontay fights. We know how Jared fights. So I think that's going to be a really match made in heaven for both of them.
If he wins that fight, I think his next fight should be Parker, and if he beats Parker, I think he should have a shot at the championship. But this is all if scenarios and what if scenarios. But
Yeah,
I
if answer,
do
but
I do think he could jump up pretty quick. He just got to stay his ass out of trouble. Just dumbass millionaires, man.
yeah,
I know you tuned in last night, and when we talked about some dumbass millionaires on whatchamacallit. Well, I forgot to name my own damn show that quick. But gentlemen's talk. So for some reason I was like something Wednesdays, but it's gentlemen's talk. But if he could put it together and he could beat Wilder and then beat Parker, he'd be right up there. And people would probably sit there and be like, he's jumping Zhang and this and yeah,
mm-hmm.
but I don't think those guys are really that good. I just think they have more fights than everybody else, and that's why they rank that high.
No, most definitely, I definitely can understand that. All right, well. Really, we weren't gonna be here for long. Really, just kind of wanted to talk about the last fight, get some thoughts, and then talk about some future fights. But we do got the NFL draft going on right now. So, can I get your thoughts on that before me and Mel go ahead and destroy everything tomorrow on Inside the Huddle?
Let me go ahead and pull up these draft results because I can't remember everything off my head. I was watching it though.
No, definitely. I feel you. Shoot, I got the draft results right here. We old, so we can.
Shout out to Mel and the best damn football show on the internet. Period. But Mel's lucky I'm not gonna be on tomorrow because I would kick his ass again.
On the draft show. Talk to him.
On the draft show. Let's. God damn it! I'm trying to find the live results right now. Live results. I definitely wasn't prepared to talk about this, but I'm gonna give y'all some insight here. Let's see. As far as Caleb Williams going number one, that's cool. It was the Chicago Bears, right?
Yeah.
Number one, I think the Chicago Bears made a mistake. Let's just start off with that. And y'all can say whatever you want, but what I do know is on Inside the Huddle, y'all talked about it a couple of months ago, and I was tuning on the show because y'all know I like to tune in. Even if I don't tune in live, I watch it back. Y'all straight up said they should keep Caleb and start to build a line or draft an elite receiver for Caleb for
Justin Fields.
For Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
And I completely agreed. I was in the comments saying I agree. I do think that Justin Fields is a franchise quarterback. I'm not saying Caleb isn't a franchise quarterback, but with you Chicago drafting the way they do drafting another quarterback again, you're essentially pressing the reset button because everybody there now is going to have to relearn the offense that you're going to build around Caleb Williams. It's kind of like the same thing where who's a good Alex Smith. Yep. Alex Smith had 7 offensive coordinators in 8 or 9 years. Jeez. For the first part of his career. You cannot build up your quarterback and build a team like that. Because every year he comes in, he has to learn a new offense. The best players have a sustainable coach. And I think with Alex Smith, he did get drafted. Oh my God. Who do Alex Smith get drafted by? San Francisco.
Yep.
San Francisco, his first 8-9 years weren't doing good. But the minute Alex Smith had a offensive coordinator back-to-back, San Francisco goes to the playoffs and won a playoff game with Vernon Davis and those boys. That was a good team. A really good team. And then Colin Kaepernick comes in and eventually Alex Smith gets them to the championship, and then Colin Kaepernick comes in and gets them to the Super Bowl. I don't really think Colin Kaepernick was that big of an upgrade over Alex Smith as everybody projects it to be. I just think his feet made a difference. But let's go through this. Chicago fucked up. I'm not saying Caleb Williams won't be a star, but you fucked up because you're going to go through the same thing you've been through for the past 2 seasons. You draft a rookie quarterback, You have no offensive line. What's your star receiver? Star receiver is Claypool. That's unfortunate for you. And I'm not talking shit about Chase Claypool, but it is what it is, Moo. It
I
is what
mean,
it is.
I love it. I love it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love this. I love the shit talking. They did. I think going into the season, their starting receivers should be DJ Moore and Keenan Allen.
Yeah,
Um,
I forgot they did get Keenan Allen. And I wish Justin Fields got a chance to play with Keenan Allen because I think they would have been good.
I said the same thing.
But But at the end of the day, you needed to shore up that offensive line. You should have went with an offensive lineman or traded back and got 2 picks in the first round to draft
Mhm.
top tier offensive linemen. So I think Chicago made a mistake because I think they're going to be where they've been for the past 2 or 3 years at the bottom. At
Yep.
the bottom.
And you got to remember because they did take another receiver at the 9 pick.
Yes.
But I definitely share those same sentiments, especially with the number 2 pick in Jaden Daniels. Considering the Redskins gave up the most sacks, especially for the most sack yards, and their
That boy called them the Redskins. That's crazy.
Redskins. We taking it back, okay? The Redskins, the Washington football team, the Commander, whatever the goddamn name y'all want to pick this to.
I like the Washington football team. They should have never changed to the Commanders.
Honestly,
Washington
I
football
think
team
that
is
was their
good.
best name. I think that was their best name. But for a team to give up that many sacks and for a team to have a quarterback get sacked that many times and for y'all to take a quarterback, knowing how many first round draft pick O linemen that there was, I just feel like y'all probably should have took an O lineman just to solidify that backfield.
I
So
can't believe what I'm about to say, Moo. I cannot believe what I'm about to say. The Washington Commanders should have took the Dallas Cowboys approach, where
I
in the
think a lot of people should have.
in the mid 2000s they drafted Nick Martin and they kept on drafting all those linemen and gave Tony Romo the best offensive line and they could run the ball down anybody's throat by the time they got DeMarco Murray.
And
They
Tony
should have took
Romo
that approach.
around 5 seconds in the fucking backfield while somebody
The,
gets open.
the same thing Chicago should have done with Justin Fields. Let's be serious here. I don't think anybody in this draft as a quarterback is CJ Stroud. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. That's a big ask. That's a big
Going on
ask.
to the Patriots, Drake May.
Shocking.
I'm not a huge fan of Drake May, so this shocked the shit out of me.
Shocking.
But you know what? This goes back to how they did a couple of years ago when they drafted Mac.
Oh, Mac
When they
Jones.
drafted
Yep.
Mac Jones, when they drafted Mac. Same type of quarterback, and you expect him to come in and be the same type of quarterback Mac was, but better. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think it's gonna play out. I think it's gonna play out the same way it played out with Mac Jones. And I'm not hating on Mac Jones because I really did like Mac Jones coming out of college. I did think Mac Jones would at least be a competent middle of the pack QB 15, 16, 17, somewhere in there. And that has proven to be absolutely wrong. So, New England Patriots fans, you better hope I'm wrong about Drake May in a positive direction. But I do not think Drake May is it. Never.
I hope we
I
are.
never thought Drake May was it.
I don't think so either. We're gonna have to get GQ's draft docs on Sir Drake May.
Going on to Arizona, Marvin Harrison Jr. going at number 4. I think this is the highest a wide receiver has went in over 20 years, bro. This is crazy. Listen, Marvin Harrison Jr., Marvin Harrison might be the first father-son duo to ever go into the Hall of Fame as receivers.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds pretty valid. Kyler got that new play thing, man, and that's that Maserati fast over there.
Man, I'm just saying, Kyler has a toy now, a very, very consistent and good wide receiver.
Very
very
fast.
good wide receiver. It might take him 1 or 2 years to develop into an elite receiver, but I see Marvin Harrison coming in and being Devontae Smith his first 2 years. And Devontae Smith got very, very well paid on the Eagles. So the only thing I hate is that that the Chargers did get rid of Keenan Allen Because I think if they would have drafted Marvin Harrison and had Keenan Allen there, they could have probably made some noise on that offense.
Oh, most definitely. But I'm glad that they did not, because the Chargers are in the Raiders division. So fuck them.
New York Giants take a wide receiver. I love the Giants as much as I love the Texans, and I will never, ever understand why the hell you would take a receiver when your offensive line is so trash.
That's a very good point.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Because who do they have? Who do the Chargers have? Don't get me wrong, as a Raider fan, I'm excited. Okay, I am absolutely astounded. But as a Charger fan, which is only about 5 of them, who do you?
I'm sorry. The Chargers took the offensive tackle. I was still talking about the Cardinals.
I still think they should have taken a receiver, because who do y'all have?
Well, they were probably aiming for Marvin Harrison Jr. and they took the best player available. The Giants took Malik Neighbors out of LSU. I kind of feel like Malik Neighbors was made by Jaden Daniels and not the other way around, like a lot of people think. No disrespect to
I like that
Malik
take.
Neighbors. I still think Malik Neighbors is really good, but I do believe he benefited from Jaden Daniels being elite, because I don't think Malik Neighbors, as I go back and watch film, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I watch film.
Newsflash.
I think his breaks out of the routes are a little slow, but Jaden Daniels, and compared to everybody else that they were playing against, I think he was just faster than everybody else. But his route tree run isn't precise. And if you're in the NFL, that's going to hinder you, because your movements are going to give away what routes you're running. It kind of reminds me of Denver's receiver, who was supposed to be elite in Jerry Jeudy and hasn't found his way yet.
Just another guy.
I'm only going through the top 10 because I can go all day with this.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. We're going to the top 10.
Tennessee takes offensive tackle J.C. Latham out of Alabama. Very, very good pick for Tennessee.
Very smart.
Especially with your quarterback. Now I know. Oh my God.
Mayonnaise Will.
Yes, he got hurt last year. On a sack, especially. So I think you need to protect, because I think y'all have the quarterback for this team. So our offensive tackle was very good. And then we get to my favorite pick of the draft. Number 8, the Atlanta Falcons pick Michael Penix Jr. out of Washington.
Goodness
oh my God.
Atlanta. Why would you do this to me?
I got a better question. New York Giants, why the hell would you do this to me?
Oh, see?
Oh my God. And then to top it off, right after Atlanta picked the quarterback, the Bears picked the receiver.
Pick the receiver. Rome
Odunze. Oh, Odunze. Bro, you know how fucking mad I was. Because I thought Odunze would slip, because I think that's why I was so surprised Neighbors got picked as high as he did, because I thought Odunze should have been picked when Neighbors was. Because I watched Penix and Odunze in college. I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute. I was really hoping that they had a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase thing going when they both get drafted to the same team. Yeah, I was that type of connection is special, Moo. It's special.
That's very true. It is very special.
To top it off, Minnesota elects to replace. Was it Alex Smith in Minnesota? No.
Damn. Freaking just blank. I just seen his goddamn name. Kirk Cousins.
First of all, Minnesota made a mistake letting go of my cousin. I know y'all wanted to move to the future, but if you were going to draft J.J. McCarthy, you should have kept Kirk Cousins. You should have. You should have kept Kirk Cousins, because the J.J. McCarthy pick for Minnesota doesn't make sense to me. But, to each his own. I guess J.J. McCarthy is going to be your starting quarterback. You're going to go through about 2 or 3 years of woes with J.J. McCarthy before he eventually becomes a starting quarterback.
Well, I mean,
You decide what you want to do with him.
True, because I mean, I feel like they thought it's either that or Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. Oh my God.
So like, it was probably like a pick your poison kind of thing at that point. But
Sam Darnold is the reincarnation of Ryan Leaf.
That's actually very accurate. I'm not even lying. That's actually very accurate. Like down for throwing motion and everything.
I am still like I still sit here in shock that Penix and Odunze got drafted back to back, bro. I am in shock. I could not believe it. When Atlanta drafted Penix, I said, okay, all they gotta do is get back to the second round. They're going, and with the ninth pick in the draft, the Bears. I didn't think the Bears was gonna go wide receiver here. I thought they were gonna try and go somewhere where they could protect their new starting quarterback, and they didn't. And I guess we'll see as the draft goes along. They draft more players, but just to scroll down and talk about some big names that got drafted. Denver drafted Bo Nix. Not a big thing to me. I don't think Bo Nix is going to be a good NFL quarterback. But Bo Nix is like 35 anyway. Whatever. For those of you out there, he's really not. But he did have the extra eligible year because of COVID.
I mean, he's 37 to me, so that's fine.
And the Raiders did take Brock Bowers out of Georgia, which was a pretty good pickup at tight end, because I really do think they did need a tight end. Brock Bowers is a very, very good blocking tight end from Georgia too. He's very good blocking. He's very good at catching. He can run the route tree. He will be a very, very big pickup I'm looking for in the dynasty draft for you motherfuckers out there and the FTSL family. Keep playing with me.
Oh yeah, I'm coming for that. I'm coming for that gold this year.
Some more notable names, maybe. The Rams took Jared Verse out of Florida.
Yep, that's
at defensive end, which they really need because they need somebody to replace Aaron Donald. And I think Jared Verse is going to be very good down the stretch. He's not going to be Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald was a once in a generational player, but I think he could get to the point where he's averaging 11, 12 sacks a season for about 4 or 5 years in the prime of his career. Anything big else that I see on here that I was just like, damn, yes.
I think the next biggest thing for me would be the Vikings again trading up to get Dallas Turner out of Alabama.
Yes. I also think the Jaguars trading for Brian Thomas Jr. is a big one.
Crazy.
I thought Brian Thomas Jr. was better than Neighbors as well. So
crazy.
I think the Jaguars took a steal in this draft with the wide receiver.
With that offense,
6'3" with a 4.340, bro. Yeah. Hey, I don't know. I'm not gonna say much because Malik Neighbors is a teammate, but hey, bro, I really, really thought this guy was. He was with You remember when Calvin Johnson came out of college and he had a teammate drafted the same year as him that played receiver?
Yep.
And I sat there and I said, I think Calvin Johnson is going to be better just based off of speed and him being able to run the route tree and him having really, really good hands.
Facts.
And Calvin Johnson was 6'5".
Yeah, 6'5", ran a 4.3. God damn it, that.
Yeah, I think Brian Thomas Jr. might be the next. What's the name I'm thinking of here? From Tampa Bay. Mike Evans. I think Brian Thomas might be the next Mike Evans. 6'3", 6'4", very strong. I mean, he's over 200 as a receiver and still running a 4.3. He's going to be a deep threat for years upon years to come. He could go over the slot. That's that kind of Andre Johnson, Mike Evans type receiver where they can play slot, they can go over the top, and they can beat you either way because they're very, very good at route tree. So I think that is a very underrated steal. Boy, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do this all day with you and Melvin tomorrow. I really do.
That's the reason why I had to get early draft analysis, round one draft analysis from my boy, because I know
Man.
I wanted to get his early football thoughts, early draft thoughts today on PVT before we get up out of here.
And of
Yeah,
course,
appreciate you for that, my boy.
Pittsburgh drafting the old lineman from Washington too that protected Michael Penix, like
Smart,
Troy. But yes, very
smart,
very safe pick. He
very
might not
smart,
make Pro Bowls and he might not be a superstar, but he's going to be a very very good offensive line player.
very
Yes.
smart, very smart, very, very smart on Pittsburgh half. But we will be getting into this more tomorrow on Friday inside the Huddle Football Show, 3 p.m. Western Time, 5 p.m. Central, 6 Eastern. I know that's some math for y'all, so you'll go ahead and love that. So
1 hour difference.
well, just, you know what I'm saying? Just a 1 hour difference. But before we get on out of here, DJ Michael B, you want to include Graces with your final thoughts?
Yeah, man. For sure. Make sure you tune in tomorrow to Inside the Huddle. For any of you that don't know any of the names that we named or people that has been picked in now as we go into the night, Moo and Mel will be breaking down the best of the draft. They'll be breaking down who they think is the worst picks, bad picks, all of that. So make sure you tune into the best damn football show, period, tomorrow at Inside the Huddle. If I get off work on time, I might just have to come through and cook Mel one time. I'm always saying I'm gonna cook Mel. Uh, but you never know. You might get some guest appearances from the sideline. GQ might drop in because he loves to analyze the draft. We used to do this on Gentleman's Talk before we became part of From the Sidelines family. Have to switch up the whole show. No hard feelings there, but this is what we did. Also, keep rocking with us Saturday. Mel and Moo Unplugged on the Patreon for From the Sidelines. Sunday, we're off. Monday, right back with Basket to Basket. Tuesday off. Wednesday, Gentleman's Talk. Thursday next week, we'll be right back here on PVT with Moo. And most likely with me again. Because Moo stood in for GQ while he was gone for me. So I'm going to keep filling in until that man say he don't need me to fill in no more. So you know what to
I'm
say.
always
You
need
scratch my back, I scratch yours.
and I'm always need and want my boy on screen because he's a great and fun time to have. So once again, appreciate everybody for sliding through. Like my boy DJ Michael B said, make sure you guys catch us throughout the rest of the week. We will be on Friday and most likely Saturday once we get all this maintenance done for the Unplugged show. And we'll be back with y'all throughout the rest of the week. So make sure you guys tap in, hit that like, follow, and subscribe button. We're almost to 700, 300 away from 1K. So if y'all can help us get there, we would greatly appreciate y'all.
If we get to 1K, I will take 13 shots back to back to back to back to back live and do a Gentleman's Talk episode.
And do a Gentleman Talk episode. And be on the lookout because we do got some merch coming towards y'all really, really soon. So once again, appreciate y'all for sliding through. We are out of here. Peace.